14:14 in 24-hour times. Make a wish. No wait, they actually say make a wish when it's 11:11. Hilarious. Yeah, so I'm at Canary Wharf DLR station, and to be honest with you, I've not taken a DLR since July, August 2012, when I was staying with my wanker cousin John in Whitechapel. Yeah. So just gonna bring back like a lot of memories, and I've been in London now for 3 years, coming up next week, and in those 3 years I've never taken any of those. Just made it to Greenwich. Not how you look on the sign, it says Greenwich, but basically you don't pronounce the E or the W. Say G-R-E-N-I-C-H, Greenwich. Now this is where Greenwich Mean Time was created in the sometime in the 50s or 60s. And basically, they've drawn a line in Greenwich to basically say this is where Greenwich Mean Time starts. So it depends on how many hours like your country is ahead or behind. Like if you're in Australia right now, your time zone is 9 GMT plus, so you're 9 minutes ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. But let's just say if you're in French Guiana or Guyana, you're GMT like minus 4 or 5. Because you're 4 or 5 hours behind Greenwich Mean Time and all. The guys in Mapman, they were able to go to a suburb in Greenwich that had a line drawn down on the side of the road. So I'm trying to figure out, where is that line? You know, it'd be quite symbolic if I find it. So I think I'm in walking distance of the Greenwich Royal Observatory. There's a lot of places that are closed off. Yeah, and there's just a lot of people out on the street right now. But hopefully I should be able to find where this place is. Oh, there's a map right over there. Now, I'm inside the grounds of Greenwich Park. So that's where I am here. Not far from the statue of Captain Cook. So they've displayed on this map this big blue line, and it says Greenwich Meridian, longitude 0 degrees. So half this park is divided along with Greenwich Mean Time. So in the 60s, they basically said, alright, this is where British Standard Time would start. So the whole of the British Isles, Britain, Ireland, Isle of Man, and the Channel Islands are all on Greenwich Mean Time. But the funny thing is, Portugal also is on GMT time, and so is Morocco. So like, if you ever do cross the border between Portugal and Spain, which you actually can do by boat or by flying fox, you gotta change your watch back and forth. If you go to Morocco, that's also on London time, and some other parts of West Africa are also on GMT time. Just going further south of Morocco, like Mauritania and maybe Senegal. But actually Ghana is actually on European Standard Time. Now here's the thing I've learned about crossing time zones in my life. Like, if you travel all the way to Skopje, Macedonia, you're basically on the same time zone as Paris. But if you cross over the border to Bulgaria, you lose an hour. So basically your clock goes forward. If you go to Lithuania from London, you're 2 hours behind GMT time. Actually, sorry, you're just ahead of GMT time. But you cross in Belarus, you lose another hour. And like one time, I flew from London to Lithuania, and then took a train to Belarus. I lost about 3 hours in that day. But I got it back when I went back to London. I've been in Greenwich Park for about 90 minutes, and I may have walked past the 0 Meridian line, but I kind of think that sundial over there might symbolize something. Might symbolize 0 degrees GMT time, you know? Well, it's nothing to do with GMT time, it just is a big sundial, and where I'm standing, I'm sitting closer to 12 o'clock. And the arrow is pointing, you know. I can never tell the time on these damn things. Okay, so I just walked from here to here, and basically there was no marking on here. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe if I walk across Park Street, there should be some markings on the side of the road and all. Yeah. You see, with a bit of persistence, it paid off. This is Greenwich Mean Time, Meridian time. So I'm in 0 degrees, Eastern Hemisphere, Western Hemisphere. I think about like, right, yeah. There's a line going through here, through this park, all the way up there, you know. Just can't believe it. Yeah. I mean, the guys off the Mapman, they made a video. They said like if you're on those Bermuda Islands between like Russia and Alaska, that's the furthest. The one in Russia is the furthest east you can go in the world, and then the one on the Alaska part is the furthest west you can go in the world. So it just kind of feels a bit dumb how they can actually say, right, like this is kind of like where like east meets west and all. But this is to do with time, like Greenwich Mean Time. You see, many decades ago, they used to like one part of England was 6 o'clock, and then the other part was at 6:30, like Ireland's. So they thought, all right, screw it, let's make the whole of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, Northern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, the Bulwark of Guernsey, the Bulwark of Jersey, and the Isle of Man, just one big time zone. For all common sake and stuff. So basically all of the British Isles is set to GMT is 0 time. And we're standing at 0 degrees longitude, east and west. Just right there. Now you may remember, I'm a guy who's traveled a lot in the world. Alright, I traveled from Vladivostok, which is nearly the same time zone as in Sydney, Australia. But it's the same time zone as a few states in Australia, all the way to London in a period of 3 weeks and 2 days of flying. So I crossed all time zones from Vladivostok to London by foot, well actually by land, you know, by train, by bus, by boat, by walking, you know. And so I'm a guy who has been to I've traveled through all longitudes. So like you think about it, like I can't really say that I've been in time zones like in Tahiti or Azores and stuff, but I myself have flown over every one of those longitudes in the world. Like if you fly from the UK to if you fly from France, French Guiana and stuff, you may ever be on a plane for 9 hours, but you're only crossing 4 or 5 time zones. So here we are. Yeah, and somebody else is having a birthday party in lockdown. How about it? So here we are, Royal Observatory of Greenwich. And the clock is set to GMT time. So this is where they decided to draw a line in England to realize where like east would meet west. And like we determined how many hours a country is behind GMT time or ahead of GMT time. And here we are again, we've got another 0 degrees line right here going across the path and then all the way up there. Well, if I follow that line, you know, that's 0 degrees longitude.